go for a little ride.
This is yours, but if you win, you get her too.
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Off the Shelf Reviews. It's your hosts Iain and Gary, and this week we are joined by our good friend Big Ed to review the Fast and Furious series of films. The Fast and Furious started in 2001 with the release of The Fast and Furious, directed by Rob Cohen, and starring Vin Diesel and Paul Walker. Paul Walker plays an undercover cop sent in to infiltrate Vin Diesel's crew of underground street racers and to find out if they're behind a large group of hijackings that have happened recently.
It very much felt like a remake of Point Break, the Keanu Reeves movie. It's that kind of surfer, hipster kind of cop who is better suited probably to this kind of undercover work than actual police work. And so he infiltrates this criminal street racer gang which is run by Vin Diesel.
Ask any racer, any real racer. It don't matter if you win by an inch or a mile. Winning's winning.
And then of course the cars.
I really do enjoy this film just for the fact of the cars look really shiny. The streets look dirty and everybody's all, mucky from messing around with cars, but those cars are shiny.
Yeah, very, very nice. I like them indeed. And that's probably why I love The Fast and Furious so much, because I am a motorhead, I am a car fan, so I get to release my urges for fast cars with Fast and Furious. So.
Your fetish for chrome.
Yes, fetish for chrome and loud engines and big booties.
See, now this film did actually make the street racing community, open. It said, here we are, we have these really nice cars. You see these nice cars driving around probably in neighbourhood and you're like...
Not like that though, not like in the Fast and Furious.
Not in the Fast and Furious, those things are like...
I don't know how I don't even know how you can get away with it.
Out cars.
They are hundreds of thousands probably. Like the amount of money that they spend on their cars can range for anything between like 10,000 up to like I said, £100,000 just to do like a 40 or Ford Fiesta up. Like.
NOS fogger system, the T4 Turbo Dominic. You see an AIC controller. It has direct port nitrous injection.
Yeah, and a standalone fuel management system.
It's ridiculous, but I just can't help but love it. I loves it.
See, now we follow Vin Diesel's character and Paul Walker's character, where they become friends and work their way through. And that Paul Walker is an undercover cop, and he is looking for Vin Diesel. And obviously, Vin Diesel is the criminal, and it's going to come to head.
Because Dom, I can't lose again.
He's a cop. He's a cop. You a cop? Let's go for a little ride.
There's a lot of technical know-how in this film. We're talking, I don't really know, but exhausts and rims and clutches and manifolds and that's nice. But then you're wanting the story to be, just a little bit more exciting than what it is.
Well, it is an adrenaline-fueled joyride.
White knuckle ride.
It is. It kind of. It's all of the street racing, which is what is the attraction to this movie. All of the dressing is, all of your fit girls or the hip hop kind of R&B music ambience that's going on, in the background. It's all of the beautiful people, beautiful cars, and fast, races. It's really quite shallow.
My trophy.
There's nothing serious going on here.
No.
The only credit to it is that perhaps that this was the launch pad for Vin Diesel as a celebrity and as a star.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that the film it's even though it's old, it's quite dated now, and some of the music is quite dated. but the effects of them driving, you get a sense of the speed that they're travelling at, and
Warp factor.
Warp factor when the cars are stretching, the neon lights are going.
But yeah, how else are you supposed to to show how fast are they going? With just a press of a button. Obviously, the press of the button's going to be like, "Whoa, here we go!" So they're going to have to
exaggerate it visually.
Yeah, exactly.
It is what it is. It's nothing. It's not a benchmark movie or anything like that. But if like yourself, Bigot, if you have a fetish for cars and watching them being driven by celebrities at really ridiculous speeds, sometimes it looks a bit CGI, and sometimes it actually looks like really well done stunts for film. So I do recommend the first Fast and Furious film.
I recommend it just to set you off. If you're wanting to see what all the fuss is about with the series, start with number 1, get behind Paul Walker and Vin Diesel, and just let them drive you somewhere.
I recommend. Oh, of course, I recommend it. I love them. So yeah, I recommend it. I Fast and Furious is Genesis, so it couldn't go wrong. I would definitely recommend it.
Brings us on to Too Fast, Too Furious, which came out 2003 and was directed by John Singleton. And so the second film is the first Fast and Furious film, well, to not star Vin Diesel. Vin Diesel at this point has moved on to do Chronicles of Riddick, Triple X, Babylon AD. He's become a celebrity now, a superstar after the Fast and Furious. So the second movie follows Paul Walker, who is now no longer in
no longer FBI.
Yeah, he quit and he's joined the underground street racers, and he's just living the life of winning races and getting money.
He's basically taken the role of Dom.
Yeah,
really,
for me, it's just a sad sequel. They've just gone, right, we need a sequel. Vin Diesel's busy. Let's just get Paul Walker back and make up some elaborate story of drug running.
But it didn't feel like the same character from the first movie. He was, in the Hawaiian, Miami, t-shirts, and he just became super hipster and uber cool.
And totally full of himself. Like at the beginning, he was like, "Oh, are their pockets deep?" And I was just like, "Oh, God!" And that first scene,
raising the stakes of the race.
What do you say we kick it in there? Espérate, Cano. Nobody said nothing about raising the stakes. If that's the case, why don't you ask these nice people here to back up the line so you can go home?
Because he just knows one before he even gets there.
For me, it's too bright. They're in Miami, it's sunny every day, there's just hot women all over the place. This is what they do. They just play out on a lake, with Ludacris, refereeing a wet skiing match. And then, they've got this elaborate story with more undercover cops, and you kind of know that they're going to win at the end.
Obviously.
Well, it's what it is.
That sounds like at the end it's going to they all die and fall off a cliff. The end. There you go.
But it carries on the concept of as crappy as the story is, it's the cars again.
The bird game sold up. Somebody try some more shit, buy some more shit. T-double done switch the game, got niggas slowing down, switching lanes. Chevy boys, we like it fast, so I'm dropping the low, heavy on the gas.
And they just had to make it bigger. I mean, that one sequence where they just drive out and you have all those cars coming out of that warehouse, all the trucks. I did like the trucks.
That was actually my favourite scene of the film.
Yeah, all the cars come out and they all spread out, and the FBI are like, we've lost them, we don't know where they're going. But then later on with the NOS chairs, I was like, it's the A-Team. They turned into MacGyver. What the hell?
With ejector seats and...
I couldn't stand Too Fast, Too Furious. I thought it was the worst one of the... And after, obviously really liking the first one, to have that pot of shit come up
as
afterwards.
its first sequel.
Yeah, and it's just such difference, because in Fast and Furious 1 there's actual car, stunts. There's actual cars in it. And then a lot in Too Fast and Too Furious, it's CGI, and it looks CGI, and it looks fake, and it doesn't look fast, it looks horrible.
See, for me, the second movie is where the Fast and the Furious films start to get into the world of the dumb. It's the fact that, I mean, I did actually enjoy the opening race of the film. I liked the fact that they felt like computer game characters. They felt like computer game avatars. The cars, you know, they were all specifically one tonal colour. All of the, you know, the typecast racers, it kind of reminded me of Flat Out or McCartney.
Select Racer.
Exactly.
Paul Walker.
So it felt very over the top, but it's also just the stunts when they were happening. They just didn't feel real. It was almost like they were starting to break rules of
gravity,
gravity,
just rules of gravity, rules of reality.
Physics were starting to bend, but at least it was still adding the element of the street racing, despite the fact that, you know, they managed to cordon off all of these streets for them to race on, and there's no people there. And the cops don't try to bust them until the race is long over. It was just so coincidental.
Yeah. I love it to hate it.
This film also had some serious homosexual overtones.
Oh, God. Oh yeah.
There's
like between Brian and Tyrese.
Some serious bromance going on in this film. It's the scene where they're stood there and he's like, "Look, women always get you into trouble. You know, what do you see in her, man? You know, like, what's wrong with me?" That's what I was waiting for him to say.
What you checking her out for?
I'm not checking her out.
Yes, you were.
No, it wasn't.
I seen you checking her out, man.
Okay, it wasn't. Shut up.
You shut up. Tell me to shut up.
Both you girlies shut up.
There is a scene as well when, like, they should be hating each other as well, like, and it was like it's a scene right after, like, what was it, they were in Barstow, like, and they're about to go into, like, the customs office, and then obviously they've just been fighting, and then you go to that scene and it's like, "What's up, bro? You alright, man? You okay?"
Yeah.
It's like, "I know I should be trusting you, man." And it's just like, you're supposed to be really hating him. You shouldn't be even talking to him. Just walk right on in. Just
but this is
elbow
Fast
him
and
or
Furious, you know. You lose a car, you're everybody's friend right after.
You ready for this?
Come on, man. Guns, murderers, and crooked cops. I was made for this, bruh.
I would actually recommend the second film because it is funny. It is. It's unintentionally funny, which is what actually made it enjoyable. The actual street races were quite entertaining as well, and I actually preferred the racing in the second film to the first film, and I actually thought it was good to have a sequel without its main star of Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would actually recommend to watch the second one.
See, I recommend the second one as part of the series. Just the bromance, like we said, you know, between Paul Walker and his friend. They just his friend Roman just makes me laugh all the way through. The story is just stupid, you know, over the top, weird things just happening that you just know should never happen. But then Tyrese pops up and he's just like, "Yeah, we hungry," and I'm like, "Yeah,
we hungry."
Hey, man, you got something to eat up in there? We hungry.
I would recommend this film, but only just like if you're a really big fan, like I am, of the Fast and the Furious films, and you're a big fan of just real stunts, like you're not gonna get it from 2000 Furious. There is one scene where, like, it's my favourite scene. It's where they've used real cars, no CGI, and obviously, like, and it works. It works really good. But only reason I recommend it is because you need to watch it to obviously carry on within the series. That's the only reason.
At the starting of the week, at Summit Talks, you'll hear them speak. It's only Monday. Negotiations breaking down.
And thirdly, we were going to talk about, what was it, Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift that came out in 2006, was that right?
Mm-hmm.
With director Justin Lin and, was it, Lucas Black starring. The film roughly is about a boy who's in high school, and he gets into a car race and gets caught at the end, and as a punishment, because he's been in this situation more than one time. So
the bad boy.
He is a bad boy. So he has two options: juvie or go live with your dad, who just so happens to live in Tokyo. So
he's Navy.
Yeah, his dad's Navy, so he has to go over there to live with his dad to obviously to avoid going to juvie. And once he's there, he obviously gets introduced to the car scene by Lil Bow Wow. Ouch. What do you think of that?
I actually do enjoy this film more than I actually enjoy the others. It takes it away from the actual series of Vin Diesel and Paul Walker, and I love the city of Tokyo. It's at night, it's just lit up. You know, there are hundreds of people just walking on those crosswalks, and then you have these cars drifting around the corner. It's quite beautiful, actually.
It is very cinematically well shot. All of the drifting. I mean, the film's called Tokyo Drift, so the racing almost takes a backseat to the performance of the style of it. So it's very much Japanese in style as well. And so it's a complete departure from any of the other Fast and Furious movies. It's a whole new cast, except that we do have Juan, who becomes a sort of series regular.
Yeah, I do like his character.
He kind of straight away notices the potential in this new bad boy who's in this strange land, and kind of gives him a chance.
All right, look, man, there's lots of ways you can do this, all right? Handbraking is the easiest. So the first thing I want you to do, I want you to rip that e-brake. All right, after you rip the e-brake, then I want you to power over. You know what? Just don't mess up Mona, all right?
And he completely wrecks his car. You see his face.
His car. I just laughed.
But he gives him a chance, and he kind of takes him under his wing, and you kind of get the feeling that he's going to pass on this knowledge of how to drift, how to how to perform, and because they are kind of being oppressed by the Yakuza, or rather this spoiled rich punk kid whose uncle is
Sonny
the
Chiba
mob boss.
is his uncle, the mob boss.
Nice.
And so obviously he's kind of ruling the school. So this is very much a high school movie.
He himself, like Lucas Black, I saw him in Jarhead before I saw him in this, and I was like, hang on a minute. I thought he was supposed to be like in his 20s or something, and now he's back in high school.
Playing like a 16-year-old.
Yeah. Well, they bring it away from the high school. I mean, there are a few elements in the school, and those are part for the story, to keep the story going with the relationship between Lucas and the girl. But, I mean, Han's relationship with Lucas's character, where he actually says to him, they're on the rooftop, and he says, I've got money. I need people that I can trust near me.
Yeah, who you choose to be around you, let you know who you are. Yeah, one car in exchange for knowing what a man's made of. That's a price I can live with.
That made me feel a little bit more comfortable to be around than Paul Walker and Vin Diesel. Who cares what they're doing? They're just romancing.
Yeah, they're just doing what they do best.
Yeah. The drift sequences. When he's going up the car park and you see his bumper just like come up like an inch away from the wall, and then Lucas Bax comes up.
It really reminded me of the Burnout games, especially with the power speed drifting and the power steering. It was, and when they're going in and around the civilians and the rest of traffic as well.
Yeah.
And the actual race at the end, I thought was really good.
Shot.
Actually felt the tension of the race.
Yeah.
Especially considering it was a race that was. That either one of them could die quite easily if making a simple mistake, yet alone them actually being aggressive towards each other.
But then they're not going to die. It's the Fast and Furious again.
Well, I wasn't too sure, because they do actually kill off characters in this movie.
They do,
and considering most of this cast are unknowns or not a part of the franchise.
Yeah.
Any one of them could die. It could go in any direction, especially considering they were bringing in. The mafia. The only thing I was grateful for was actually a step away from the whole undercover police scene.
Yes, yeah.
So
that was a nice relief to actually get away from that.
Yeah.
And what I like about Tokyo Drift is, it's like you said, it's the way it's shot, the way it's directed more than anything. Like, it's really cinematic. and that's probably why Justin Lin got asked to do Fast and Furious 5 and Fast and Furious 6. You know, really good.
As a standalone film, I do recommend this more than the others. You know, if you just wanted to watch something with cars, Tokyo Drift. You know, it's a fun story. You don't have to worry about the whole undercover cops. You don't really need to have seen the other two. You know, it's all fresh.
It's a standalone film.
But at the same time, if you do watch it, you will have to watch the others because obviously characters reappear.
Mm-hmm.
I don't recommend Tokyo Drift. I think it's quite drab in places. I really liked all of the montage training scenes where he's learning to drive.
Because the two fishermen.
Yeah, exactly. So all of those scenes I really liked, but as a whole, the movie just didn't go anywhere. It was a mostly predictable experience, and it didn't offer anything new or exciting other than its location.
I'll definitely recommend it because I love all Fast and Furious, obviously, and I even love the high school scenes just because I love Japanese girls as well. So.
We had to get the Japanese girls in there.
I had to put it in there, man. Like, it had to be said. And I just generally love drifting. I just love the whole idea of just like drifting and like just being able to just drift around the corner. Just imagine drifting around the roundabout. That would just be awesome. And just like the cinematics and the whole car scenes. I thought the car scenes again. Hardly any CGI.
Yeah.
It's all stunts. Someone's actually behind that wheel doing that.
Yeah.
And that's what really impresses me about the films is more the stunts, not the actual acting. I do have to turn my mind off to actually watch it. But I do get my satisfaction from it because obviously loud engines, tires squeaking, turbo dump valve going off. Love it all. So yeah, definitely recommend this film.
Make sure to come back and watch our second part where we'll be reviewing Fast and Furious 4, 5 and 6.
We hit the room, me and my crew, and it was cool until we bumped into you. Now it's been years, but there you were like a Mustang, redlining every single gear with a minute dance like he was born in 49.
Hey, that's mine. So?